He wasn't in front of her car to begin with. He wasn't in front until she started moving. So he put himself in danger by doing that.
Well,
I'm looking at the video right now.
We can agree to disagree.
I don't believe in agreeing to disagree or anything of that nature.
But don't you think? Let me ask you another question, Dawson.
It was excessive use of force.
Let me ask you another question, and again, it's been a respectful discussion. I appreciate that, man. How do you prove intent, right? Okay,
Smitty, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
Did you see I'm going to send you this video.
Mm-hmm.
Right
Is that
here?
the one from the other angle?
Yeah, because literally he started shooting at her before she even started moving.
Yeah, I saw that.
Literally started shooting at her before she started moving. That's not okay. What video have you seen, Dawson?
Didn't look specifically for that. I have to go back and look at the video. But from what I seen, it looked like that she started moving and then he shot. But
okay.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys.
I appreciate it, Dawson. Yeah, it came up respectful. I appreciate that, man. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for coming up. All right, we're gonna let Dawson go. Give me 1 second, y'all. Again, I'll let one person up at a time. Okay, I'm trying to be very sensitive. I'm very frustrated. Typically, if y'all follow me, y'all know that I'm very much moderator, right? I let other people talk. I rarely talk on the lives. I just moderate. This one's gonna be a little different. We'll let one person up at a time. I'm gonna pick some folks I haven't had up here before. Just again, whether you agree or disagree, I'm just gonna let up one person at a time to share their opinion.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Hey, Leah, how are you? Yes.
Good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. What are your thoughts?
I've never done this whole live thing before.
Oh, okay. I'm honored that I'm the first one.
Yeah, thank you guys. So I'm in Duluth. I live in Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So good to talk to you all.
Likewise.
I appreciate the forum. So I'm late to the game. I was at work all day, and obviously in Duluth, we've had ice up here. I live in Minnesota. My son lives down in the cities. Like, it is a big thing. And I watched this video, and this is what I'm going to say. I've watched this video like 12 million times.
Mm-hmm.
I have my views. I don't try to push my views on others. I try to listen to other people's. But I watched this video like 12 million times, and I have to say, and I don't know, I'm late to joining this chat, but I've seen it on other posts. Like, nobody really talked about the fact that she actually backed up. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the video. She waited till folks moved out of her peripheral, and then she backed up, and then she proceeds to go forward. And to me, in my opinion, like, this woman was not trying to harm anyone. She was just probably, like, I don't know what her original intent was being there, obviously, but like, if you're trying to kill somebody and you're trying to take down officers and ICE agents and whatever, you're not waiting for people to move out of the way.
Right.
And you're just gonna skirt and hit whoever.
Right.
And I don't know if a lot of people have paid attention to that. And it took me a really long time to like kind of pick up on that myself. So I don't try to put ideas in anyone's heads. And I'm here to like give people an outsider's opinion. I have my opinions about things, but I think that this person, if she were out to harm anyone and was this vindictive human being, she would have just ran people over.
Let me ask you a question. I appreciate that, Leah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming up and let me ask you your opinion on what Chris. Did you hear what Chrissy Noem, the director of DHS, said?
No, I think I'm so late to the game. Honestly,
Okay,
I've been drowning in work. So yeah, please fill me in.
Good. No, you're good. You're good. So we go listen to it, and then I'm gonna do another live tomorrow if you want to come up.
Oh, absolutely, please. Okay? I absolutely will do that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Hey, appreciate it. How cold is it in Duluth right now, by the way?
It's so actually nice. Things are melting. It's nice. Oh. It's beautiful out, actually.
That's amazing.
Cheers to you all. Happy New Year.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. That was an interesting and good conversation with Leah. Erica, family, feel free to jump in anytime. I'm just gonna let one person up at a time. Honestly, I'm just picking people that I'm gonna try to pick people I haven't had up before.
Prevent me from having a crash out.
What's that?
You trying to prevent me from having a crash out?
No, go ahead, man. Say what you want.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. How are you? You're on mute, Ashley, if you're speaking. Oh, we lost Ashley. All right. Let's bring up somebody else. We're gonna bring up Serge. First person I see. Okay.
Hey guys, how are you tonight?
Good. Mallory, I have not seen that. Good. How are you, Serge? What's your opinion on what happened to Renee Nicole Good today?
I literally rewatched that video so many times and my mouth just dropped in the lack of training that these people have, and for them to be able to even try to justify what they did. Like, to me, it's very clear, it's just from the very beginning, she did, like the last person just stated, if you're trying to run over these ICE agents, you're not going to try to back up to try to avoid them. You're not, and she's even waving at them like, I'm trying, like, my interpretation was she's waving at them like, I'm just trying to get out of your way. And in trying to move out of danger, they literally assassinated her. Like, literally, it was so clear, and then what was even more frustrating and what really, really just put a dagger in my heart was to watch the video of her neighbor where this physician is literally standing there with his door open. You see her laying there, and all he's saying is, can I please just go check her pulse? Can I please just go? And they're like, no, I don't care.
Yep.
As a human being in general, you're standing there with weapons. What is this man gonna do to you to go check her and try? If anything, he's gonna try to save her and at least bring her back to life, so that it's not a life that's lost. Instead, you're literally letting her just die in front of these cameras and not giving a crap about it. And it's so, I live in California, so I have firsthand seen how intimidating and how much it hurts to see so many of these people, but to see somebody, which I'm assuming, she's an American, she's a citizen.
Yes, she was.
And to see this happen, it's insane to me how this administration can get up there and spew lies or just spew what they're considering facts. That video is completely, it's not giving. Like, it's not giving what the video is giving. And these are videos from so many different angles.
I hear you, Serge. I appreciate you coming up, man.
No, thank you guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Yeah, take care.
Have a good night.
You too now. All right, again, I'm just letting up the first person I see. Let's see. Actually, I guess not the first person. I'm scrolling through, and we're going to click on this person. Let this person up.
Erica is watching.
Oh, I didn't even see that. It's the same name. Well, Erica, how are you?
K-drama. Good. I've been up on another live of yours. I changed my screen name.
Okay. All right. What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are a couple of things, because you mentioned January 6th and who, and I think Serge mentioned, like, how is the administration, like, how are they getting away with it? Something like that. And basically, was I muted?
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, okay.
There was somebody that said, yeah, thank you. No, go ahead. You're good.
I think he mentioned, like, how do they get away with it, like, this administration? Because who's going to check them? That's the first thing. Who's checking them? Nobody's checking this administration about anything they do. They're, completely ignoring the laws. They're completely ignoring human decency. One, because they're unqualified. Two, because who's going to check them? And when you mentioned January 6th, I was like, in theory, January 6th wasn't wrong. January 6th happened under the wrong influence. This is the time where something like that should theoretically happen. I'm not saying we should, go storm the Bastille, But if we were to be storming the Bastille, these are the times, because this is outrageous. This woman's life was lost for absolutely no reason, and she definitely wasn't trying to run over this cop. There's no angle where you look at this that you don't see her back up and then turn. And then to the person, there was somebody in the comments that like, she saw him, and she went ahead forward anyway. Who knows what she saw? We don't know what she saw. We don't have her eyes. We can't see what she saw. If it were me, I'd be panicked. I probably wouldn't see anything. I'd be in just a panic to get away. So.
Okay. All right. No, I appreciate you, fam. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Erica.
I agree.
All right. Thank you. We're going to let you go. So if there's someone that wants to come up that, again, feels like this is intentional, put a 1 if you're in the comments. Lotus, how are you, fam? Put a 1. I will let you up. And again, just like the last gentleman we had up, you can have a respectful discussion about it. So put a 1 if you're in the comments. Sorry, in the request. Excuse me, y'all. In the requests, and I will let you up. All right. Jean, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. How are you?
Good. What are your thoughts? Sounds like you think that this was intentional.
So, as a police officer, we were taught like that. Pretty much, if we stopped a car because we had probable cause, of course, and we were taught if the car is moving towards us, we are allowed to use our weapon because that person is using their weapons to kill or hurt somebody. But as a human being, I watched the video multiple times and it was so sad. Like, as a police officer, I would never let anybody come towards my car like that. The way they were moving, pulling her car, yelling at her, it was pretty much like they were gonna take her out of the car and beat her up or hurt her anyway. So I always carry guns in my car and knives, and I don't know you don't know me. If you pull me over, let me know what's going on. Let me know who you are, because I will use my gun and my knives against you. Because the way they were walking towards her, they were gonna hurt her anyway. They weren't trying to get her out of the car and put her. No, they were gonna they were gonna choke her, or they were gonna shoot her. And as you can see, the other officer was on the way on purpose.
Okay.
If you watch carefully, he had already had his gun out ready.
Exactly. And he started pew. I don't know what words I can say on your platform.
Yeah,
Cindy.
just say pew pew, and I don't know either.
Okay.
Hey, Gene, I'm gonna let you down though. Thank you so much for coming up, Gene. By the way.
Thank you, Gene.
Yeah, thank you.
But he literally he started. I rewatched it from 3 different angles, and the one that's best is the one that actually has like a from the side, but has a full view of the front of the car. He literally actually did start off at the front of her vehicle, and you can see her back up. And this actually aligns with what eyewitnesses said, that she starts to like back up and she turns her car to the right. And so as she's like backs up, he's already in front of the car as she's backing up, and he moves to the side as she starts to go right. And he literally like, this is her car, and he just starts shooting for no reason. He just starts shooting. He was not in harm's way. And I'm just wondering, like, I know perception is reality, right? I get it. Perception is reality. But when we are looking at the exact same thing, right? How is it, do people who say, yes, I voted for Donald Trump, see this vehicle moving towards the ICE agent, right? And people who didn't vote for Donald Trump see this vehicle moving away? I don't understand it.
That's actually good. That's interesting. Let me do this, y'all. Let me go. I let 2 people up. I changed my mic. Sylvia, give me 1 second. I think old dad believes that this is intentional again. And listen, one couple things before I let old dad start. Couple things, y'all. Please tap the screen. This is a very sensitive discussion. Okay, you can see. I think whether you agree or disagree with what Erica and I have said, At least, hopefully, we can agree that it's being done in a way that's respectful. I want to let Old Dad share his opinion, and the Sufyan, I'm gonna let you come in as well. Old Dad, what do you think about what happened? Welcome to the panel, by the way.
Thank you for having me on. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
I watched this from the minute it came flashed up on my screen. I've looked at witness statements. I've watched witnesses on video. I've watched the video. They ordered her to move her car and then rushed her car. How intimidating and confusing that would be. I agree with you. She was trying to get out of there, and she was unalive. And I hope that the state of Minnesota arrests and that there is a due process in this issue, because that was the most. I mean, ICE does not give a hoot about people's. I mean, we've watched them drag pregnant women through the snow and sit on their necks and beat on people, and that is not what law enforcement is there to do. Everything about it was confusing, and quite frankly, I absolutely agree with all of you. And I got to tell you, if this is the state our country's in, these 2026 midterms are so important, because we have to stop this madness. It isn't just ICE. It's the imperialism that's going on. The Venezuela, Cuba, Greenland, the madness that's going on inside of the White House. And last thing I'd like to say is to both of you, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for letting me on. And thanking you for letting me get out what I've been watching all day. I put a video up, or I put a comment up on, or a piece up on Facebook, and it's actually being suppressed. I know how my traffic works, and they're trying to suppress this story. Thank you for helping people get their talk about their conscience on this, talk about the truth on this, and I do think it's sad that people will make a decision based on their ideology as opposed to what their eyes and brain can tell them.
Respect, man. Respect. Yeah, Old Dad. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Old Dad.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. All right, we're gonna let Old Dad go. Thank you. Sufyan, your thoughts, and then again we'll let some more folks on. And again, I'm still willing to have a conversation with someone who disagrees with the majority opinion. I would say on the. You know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna do this once. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, fam.
I'm gonna make that video after this. I'm gonna make that video. I really want an answer to that question.
Yeah. No, absolutely. If you think that this was done intentionally, put a 1 in the comments. If you think it was not done, so you think she was trying to get away, put a 2. I just want to see what chat is. Sufyan, what are your thoughts?
Thanks, Bradley. My thoughts are not focused on the gunshots themselves, but rather because that's like out of my. I would say it was unjustified, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is that afterwards, when you have a person who has been shot, no matter what, even if they were trying to kill you, even if they were trying to unalive you, these individuals require to be triaged. That's what you're taught. If anybody in the field is taught to triage these wounds to make sure that the person doesn't pass on the scene. The thing is that they weren't doing that. A man who declared himself a physician came by and said so, and said, "No, we have people coming." I have never met any physician who would sit there and be like, "Yeah, it's okay. I'll leave because you guys got it handled." He started yelling instructions: put pressure on the wound. You need to stuff the wound because pressure will prevent her bleeding from getting worse. And that's the main thing is can you prevent blood loss? And that's what ended up causing her to succumb to succumb because her wounds were not treated properly.
Mm-hmm.
The actions of those, like whatever you want to call them, those individuals, those monsters, those individuals were negligent within their duty. Whether even if it's, I don't even know if it's within their duty, because in my I don't even know why an individual with border crossing needs a gun.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
I feel like there's.
I hear you, man. Yeah, no, I hear you. Hey, I'm gonna let you go. But I appreciate your perspective, man.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Real quick, I want to do a mod announcement.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, y'all. It's 847 people up in here. I need you all to do all of the good things. All right. Let's do all of the good things. If you got it, let's send it. All right. Let's go ahead and knock out these money guns for Smitty. All right. Smitty is always bringing us educational content, informative content, and also engaging and entertaining content. So let's do all of the good things for Smitty. Let's go ahead and knock out those money guns. Also, he is only at 55,000 likes and it's over 850 people here. I'm going to need y'all to tap that screen and get this up to 200,000 likes within the next 10 minutes. So let's tap the screen. Also, continue to share and repost. Let's just do all of the good things, guys. All of the good things. Show Smitty all of the love while you are here, all right, while we have these conversations, because it's very important that we kind of catch, as humans, as, citizens, as voters, just as everyday people, where do we stand on this? And my question is, I seriously want to answer. So if there is a Trump supporter out there who is willing to answer, why is it that I, as a person who did not vote for Donald Trump, can look at those videos and see that she was driving away from those officers, those agents, I should say, but you, as a Trump supporter, you see her driving towards them?
Thank you, Sufjan.
I really want to know. So thank you all so very much. And let's, again, tap the screen, share and repost the live, and let's knock out these money guns. Thank you all so very much for doing all of the good things. Boom.
Thank you, fam, for that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Bayday Amy. Thank you, guys. What do you think about what happened to Renee Nicole Good? What do you think?
Hi guys, thanks for having me. Yes. I think what happened today is abhorrent. It's on point. The one thing I wanted to say that I think we're all missing, that we keep forgetting, ICE is not law enforcement, and they think they are. They do not have jurisdiction over citizens, right? So they're on the street, they're causing chaos, and this woman tried to leave her home, right? She has no idea what's going on, and then they're rushing her, right? So I think that that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that we're treating them like law enforcement, but they're not. They do not have the right to tell her to get out of her vehicle without probable cause. Like, they don't. And like we talked about the lack of training, but when it comes down to this whole thing of whether or not you think, it doesn't matter, because they had no right to detain her. They should have waved her on and sent her on her way, because she did absolutely nothing but leave her house. Short and sweet, but they're not law enforcement. And they need to be reminded of that. And that's how we hold them accountable.
Okay. So, thank you. Thank you, Amy. I want to keep Amy up for a little bit longer. And again, put a 1 in the comments if you're in the request. If you feel like this was intentional, or you feel like, hey, this is without, we're getting something wrong up here. Okay. And I'll let you up. And again, so long as we can have a respectful discussion, I'm willing to do it. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead. But Amy, you see how they're able to basically change what it is that we know, because there are people who will argue that they are in fact law enforcement and that they do have the right to detain and order American citizens. The only thing that ICE can actually do, because they are considered federal law enforcement, but the only thing that they can do is they can detain you if they come into contact with you, and they can just verify your citizenship. That's it. Because they can do that, but to order you to do the things that they were ordering her, I don't believe that they have the authority to do that. And then
real quick, y'all. Let me just. I think your username was Ty Talian. I don't see you in the request. I was gonna try to let you up. Ty Talian. If you want to request, I'll let you up. Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead.
Correct, Erica. So if we are interfering, right, and we commit a federal offense, they are allowed to detain us, right? But without probable cause, they cannot detain us because of how we look, the way we speak, the accent we have, without provocation, right? It's not probable cause. I mean, we know that undocumented immigrants are entitled to due process under the Constitution, right?
Not under this administration.
I know, I know. but I think that, this conversation that they're not law enforcement, I think is what we need to talk about, because they don't have the right. They don't.
I agree with you. I 100% agree.
Let's bring in Ty Talion. Ty Talion, what is your perspective on what happened today in Minneapolis?
Well, my perspective is when she was trying to leave, how the agents came and started pulling the door, as we've seen many, many times before, how ICE agents just go and pull people out of their cars. If it were anybody, would think, what are they going to do to me? I would want to drive off, right? I would think it would be for my safe zone to get out of there. So her intention was not to hit anybody, run over anybody. She was leaving the scene, going. For them to do what they did to her point blank, it's appalling. And is America mad enough, is what I have to say. Are we angry enough now because of all of this? What is it going to take?
Okay. All right. Ty Talion, I appreciate that. I appreciate your perspective. Thank you so much for coming up. Appreciate you. Yeah, definitely. What is it going to take? That's a good question. All right. Again, if you feel this was intentional, you feel like she tried to ram the police officer, or you feel like she should have complied to ICE, again, if you're in the request, let me know. I'm trying to find somebody that does agree. Let's see. I think I saw nails.
Smitty, how do you feel about First Amendment rights in your chat for people that oppose, and you're asking them to come up, yet they don't request up?
I mean, it could be frustrating, fam. But I think Nails is. I think Nails is one that is ready to have a discussion. Nails, what do you think about what happened to in Minneapolis?
Hey, how you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Good. Yeah, we can hear you. How are you?
How I feel about everything today, the video, what I saw, it's just that, like, I know that girl was trying to help somebody, but she shouldn't die like that. I know that it's just in my heart, man. Everything just messed up.
Okay.
I probably don't make sense right now because I'm online, but how I feel about it, it was wrong. And I feel the ICE agent have been in Minneapolis with the riot going on. So I feel like their higher officer has been disturbed by the protests, everybody back and forth. Today was the day where that girl probably was the chosen one for everyone to wake up today. Okay. And I'm so sorry for her.
Okay.
And,
all right. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you for coming up, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. All right, we're going to let Nails go. All right, we're still looking for someone who has a different perspective. Feel free to write. Let me know in the requests. Okay, put a 4 in the request. Put a number 4. If you feel like you have a different viewpoint, you heard something different on here, or you have a different viewpoint, you want to share it, right? And I will try to get you up. All right. Jesse, how are you?
Good. How are you? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can. What are your thoughts?
So, first off, I don't think that anyone should die in this fashion, right? I think it's messed up. But I think one point that a lot of people are missing here is that these agents are... I've seen a lot of commercials. Have you ever seen the movie Starship Troopers? These commercials remind me of Starship Troopers, where there's hardcore propaganda. Join. And so all not all of them, but a lot of these ICE agents are pretty new, untrained. And so we need to be more aware of our surroundings. Apparently she was leaving her house. The first thing I saw was she was there on purpose, but it turns out she was leaving her house. If it's me and I'm going to back out of my driveway and I see some crazy stuff going on, probably going to shut my car off and go back inside, especially knowing how hardcore these dudes that have joined ICE are going to be. I think that's the perspective we're missing, right? Like, she didn't need to back out. She probably should have just waited, in my opinion. You got to be more aware of your surroundings and understand that they seem trigger happy and super happy to come and rip people out of their cars and all that type of stuff. I had roommates during COVID when Portland was having the riots that drove 4 hours up to Portland to join the riots, asked me to come. I'm like, I'm not going to drive 4 hours to go and do something like this because that's going to put myself at risk. And more it's looking like we need to, like, obviously we look out for each other, but you got to look out for you and your own.
Okay.
And my roommates went up to Portland. They, one of them kicked a tear gas container right back at the police that shot one at him, got lit up with rubber bullets, and then came back saying, I can't believe that happened. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't believe that happened? You drove up there and you ran out into the middle and made yourself a target.
Let me. Oh, go ahead, fam. Go ahead, jump in.
No, you got it, Smitty. You got it. You got it.
Yeah. I was gonna ask a question, but then yes, Amy and Erica, feel free to jump in. So what you're saying is, hey, you know what? Well, let me ask you first, and then I'll let Erica come in. So you saw the videos. Let's take the piece out of it that you say she shouldn't have left, or she should have gone back home, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's take that piece out of it. But do you feel that it was that she was trying to get away as opposed to trying to intentionally hit the officer?
I don't think she was trying to intentionally hit him. From what I see in the video, the guy kind of moves around in front of her car as she starts to go. He's kind of moving around. She may have not seen him moving there. And the dude pulled his gun real quick and was trigger happy. It looked like the car did graze his leg. If I'm there and I know I'm getting out of the way, I'm not pulling the trigger, but I can understand why someone in that situation would kind of fear for their life because it doesn't matter how fast the car is going. That's a big machine. If you end up on the ground under it, it's gonna mess you up.
Okay,
I understand, but I don't think she had anything malicious going on. I think she just got caught up in the wrong place. Slight lack of awareness.
Okay, go ahead, fam. Go ahead, Erica.
Jesse, was it a justified shooting in your opinion?
No.
Okay. All right. That's all that matters to me. Also, I think I would just caution you in regards to what you think that she was doing or was going or whatever, to maybe leave that part out and only stick to the facts. And the reason why I say that is because we don't know where she was going. When she came out of her house to get to whatever point B was for her.
I totally understand that.
Yeah, because point B could have been the grocery store. You never know. Point B could have been work.
Don't know where she was going.
Exactly.
All I'm saying
so we can't say what she should have done.
Okay. I'm not trying to blame her or anything. I'm just saying, if we're more aware and we understand that these agents are hardcore in believing in their ways. Like I'm very middle of the road in my beliefs. I see a lot of good things and a lot of bad things on both sides. And I just think that we need to understand that these are some psycho mofos out there that are bloodthirsty and have been kind of brainwashed into.
Okay. All right. Hey, Jesse, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate the respectful discussion, man. I really do. All right, let's go to Amy. Did you want to say anything else? I'm gonna let you go to Amy, but I want to give you a little bit longer.
Yeah, I can wait. Just something real quick, or I can wait, whichever.
Okay, let's do this. Let me go to Wolf. Wolf, what are your thoughts about what happened in Minneapolis? What do you think?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, good to have you on, by the way.
All right, good to be here. I love reading the comments. Coming from my experience, I'm a federal law enforcement officer. Again, federal. So I do have that background. A lot of people are saying, hey, they don't have They're not law enforcement. We are law enforcement. We are given federal law enforcement authority. Those ICE agents, they go through the same thing every law enforcement officer does. They go through FLETC, Federal Law Enforcement Training Academy, and then they'll go back to their respective stations to do training. Usually it's a 6-month follow-up training. FLETC is usually about 6 months as well. So it's a year-long training process. They are properly vetted. Yes, you are going to receive, you're going to get bad apples, no matter what law enforcement agency you go to. But in this particular event, I've seen multiple views of it. And through training and experience, there was a lot going on in that situation. Those federal officers were doing their federal job, enforcing that mandate that's given by the president. A lot of people can disagree with that, but they were doing their job in a federal capacity. She obstructed them from doing their job. She did not listen to their lawful commands as they were doing their lawful capacity. And then she drove away at the agent. Maybe she didn't see the agent, and it's a horrible tragedy that it happened. But in that agent's view, he was meeting deadly force with deadly force. It doesn't matter.
Go ahead.
No, it's the situation that law enforcement officer was presented, and a lot of these people in the chat have never been in that situation. They've never been stressed in that situation. They've never experienced anything like that. They don't have the training and or experience to say, hey, I have to meet deadly force with deadly force. She did clip that agent. There's multiple angles. A lot of people can disagree with me, but that officer was clipped. And so he responded the way we're trained. It's how we're trained.
Okay.
What if he did dive out of the way? Now she's driving erratically. What if she hits a civilian? Now she's a threat to public safety.
But here's what I don't understand, Wolf. And then first off, again, I appreciate your perspective with someone with experience. I appreciate that. Here's what I'm trying to understand, right? She gets in the car, she goes into reverse, right? Presumably, and again, this is a bit of speculation, but presumably, if you're going in reverse, you're trying to get more space so that you can, evade the police officer, or the federal officer. I hear what you're saying about they gave her a command to exit the vehicle, and she did not obey that command. I hear that part. But here's what I'm trying to understand, right? From everything I saw in the video, it really looks like she's cranked the car all the way to the right, and she's trying to go to the right, and then the officer, opens his, I gotta use TikTok friendly words, pew pew, and she's unalived. And so what I'm trying to understand is how does he fear for his life if she is literally driving her vehicle in the opposite direction from where he's at? That's what I'm trying to understand. Can you explain that?
Let me rephrase it let me rephrase. Let's put you in that situation. You're in front of the car.
Sure.
She's not listening to any of your commands. She's putting the car in reverse. She's acting erratically, and then all of a sudden that car's coming at you. How would you respond?
I want us to stop saying that she was acting erratically, because we didn't have any camera inside that car. We don't know how she was acting. We just know that we saw that car go back, so that means she had it in reverse, and then also we saw it go forward to the right. So there's that. We don't know how she was acting.
Well, and that's what I was going to bring up with you, Wolf, too, is okay, she's in a situation, and she's probably there's probably a lot of loud noises going on, and she's trying to figure out what she's trying to do. I feel like the way they approached her was erratic. Now, you probably might disagree with that, and that they escalated the situation. Like, why not just let her go? Why not just she wasn't someone that they were trying to pursue. She was just a bystander in the situation. But, why not just let her go? You know what I'm saying?
To play devil's advocate.
Yeah, go ahead.
To play devil's advocate, look what ICE agents are facing though every day. So they were performing an operation. She obstructed them. They don't know what the situation is. They're facing multiple. I'm trying to look for the TikTok safe word.
Yeah,
here.
I appreciate that.
they're facing multiple allegations. They're facing multiple people where they can't control the scene, and now they're interfering. Now she's interfering with them conducting an operation. Does that make sense?
No, I hear what you're saying from their perspective. It's just I feel like, you know, and you know this as a federal officer, you know, you're always taught to de-escalate, and it just didn't seem like they were de-escalating the situation the way they approached the vehicle. That's I guess that's how.
Were they conducting an operation on that residential street, Smitty, from what you read? Because I thought that they were on that street because their cars had got stuck due to the weather. So their cars were stuck because of the weather is what had happened. And people who live on the street saw these, basically what they would call police vehicles. They saw these vehicles on the street and they came outside. And then once they knew who they were, that's when people were like, leave, get out of here. And the lady, Renee Nicole, she tried to come out of her own house. We don't know where she was going, but she tried to come out of her home. And then that's when the incident took place. So I'm trying to understand. I don't think they were conducting an operation. So she wasn't interfering with anything. Why is it? Okay, I'm trying to remain calm because it's Smitty's platform. And I have to tell myself that, you know, as a Gemini, I'm not well, Smitty. I just want to let you know that. So, Wolf.
Yeah, go ahead.
They weren't conducting an operation. Their vehicles were just stuck on that road due to the icy roads, due to the inclement weather. All right. She wasn't interfering with anything. All right. Why, as a federal agent or as a former federal agent, why can't you find it in yourself to simply say they could have let her go? She wasn't interfering with anything.
They gave her lawful commands, and she didn't listen. She ended up acting in a way to where it put an agent's life at risk, and he responded to that threat accordingly.
Why isn't it that he put his own life at risk? Because again, they weren't conducting an operation. They were simply some agents who got stuck on a residential street, right? That's all they were. It was some agents they were having car trouble, pretty much is what happened. They were having car trouble. All right. And she was leaving her home. She was leaving home.
Let's do the show. Let me let Amy come in because I'm gonna let Amy go. Go ahead, Amy, if you have anything else you want to say, and then Wolf, if you want to jump in. Go ahead.
Two things. So Wolf, they're not law enforcement. Okay, they didn't have probable cause. They're not. They do not have jurisdiction unless she is federally interfering. That's just how ICE works. Please go fact check me. Okay. If she was doing something to actually interfere and she was trying to actually run them over, right? But she was literally waving them by so that she could go down the road. Okay. But what I've heard you say is that these officers are trained, but just like law enforcement, they're not trained on de-escalation. This is why
we 100% are. Are you? I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm really sorry to interrupt.
Please let me finish, and I please just let me finish, and I will be quick. Okay. Then why are we continuously seeing lethal force by people that are untrained? They've done this to 2 undocumented immigrants, right? Because they say their life is in danger by a vehicle because they don't know how to de-escalate a situation. But I'm going to put it in perspective for you, right? These officers are scared for their lives. Not everybody are comfortable around guns. Okay. Some people have never seen one. Some people have never been around one. Some people see one and it is instant fear and anxiety. We don't know anything about this woman, right? Not to mention she could have been a victim of DV. We don't know the violence she's had in her life. So when 4 men come up to your car banging on it when you're just trying to leave your house, how do you expect her to have a thinking mind, right? These men, this is their job. They're supposed to stop and think about A equals B equals C, right? If I do this, then this happens, right? That's part of de-escalation. That's part of their job. This woman was just leaving her house. She was scared. She was being intimidated against. Like, you need that perspective, okay? Because not everybody's comfortable with violence.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, fam. Thank you for coming up. I appreciate you. We're gonna let you go, Wolf. Let's let Wolf answer that question. Go Go ahead. I think Wolf. Hold on. Give me 1 second, Wolf. I think we might have muted you. Go ahead. Your thoughts on what Amy said. You should be able to unmute, Wolf.
Yep.
What your thoughts on what Amy said about de-escalation, and then Amy the second one was kind of similar to what I made. So if you want to speak to ICE agents and being trained on de-escalation, go ahead.
No, I apologize for interrupting. That's not a healthy way to debate, especially something that is.
I appreciate that. Contention.
That was not my intention. Of course, each side is going to get a little fired up.
Yep.
You know, I kind of wish I took notes on key points she made so I could to mention each one of those comments.
What about
you say we're not trained? You say we're not trained in de-escalation. I want to know what makes you think that. Have you ever attended a law enforcement academy? Have you ever been put through the year-long process it takes to become a certified, whether that's local, state, or a federal law enforcement officer? Because that is 100% what we do. We meet force. We're always supposed to de-escalate when we can and use the proper force to the next level. So if they prevent a bat, we'll try to go taser, but a bat is considered a deadly weapon. So then you have to step it up to a firearm or a pew-pew. I apologize if that's against the TikTok.
Thank you.
A car is considered a deadly weapon. Did she intentionally drive at that agent? She didn't, but that agent was there and he responded how we are trained, meeting deadly force with deadly force. Now you say she was scared. She was not listening. That's at the end of the day, she didn't listen. They have law enforcement written all over their chests. It's not like these guys were in plain clothes. They presented themselves as law enforcement. They gave her lawful orders, and she didn't listen. It doesn't matter how scared you are. If I get pulled over and I don't listen to that law enforcement officer and I start acting erratically, that police officer is going to respond to the way I react. It's at the end of the day, it's a life and death decision. You have to make that decision in 2 seconds or less. And people that aren't put in those positions can sit here and talk about all day about, oh, he could have jumped out of the way. He could have done this. He could have done that. It's Monday night quarterbacking. You're not in that situation.
But so I hear what you're saying about not being in a situation, but Wolf, what I'm trying to understand, I kind of want to go back to before she starts the car, or not before she puts the car in drive, right? And this idea of de-escalation again, because had they not approached her in that way, none of us would even be here talking about this, I believe. And so when you look at this situation, do you put any of the onus on that piece of it, or no? Or you're just like, hey, you know what? She should have got out of the car when they approached her, and that's that. What do you think about that? And then I'm gonna let somebody up here in a second.
From your point, everyone could have done something differently. Like I said, the outcome is tragic, but at the end of the day, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, they were law enforcement. They gave her a lawful command. She did not listen. She did act erratically by putting in the car in reverse, trying to drive away. Whether she saw that agent or not, that agent life was put into risk in his eyes, and nobody else can make that determination. He did get clipped by the car. I mean, that is video proof.
Okay. Let me go to Mallory. I just brought Mallory up. Mallory, how you doing? What are your thoughts? And if you want to obviously ask Wolf a question, or if you want to share your thoughts on this. And Erica, I'm gonna bring you in 1 second, fam.
I just wanted to ask. Thanks, Smitty. Hi, Erica. I was just wondering, Wolf, in police training or that type of training that these idiots have, do they train them to walk in front of vehicles that are running with their engine on?
I mean, I don't know how you want me to answer that. Of course, no, you shouldn't be.
That's what he did.
Given the situation, but you don't know where his head was at in that situation. Like, we're making judgments based on
It was just to
Did he
ask.
think did he think she was going to drive at him? No, probably not in that moment.
The engine was running and her car was pointed in only that one direction. Whether the wheels were turned in his direction, the opposite direction, backwards, like he walked in front of the vehicle.
Like I said, I understand where you're coming from, but we also don't know why he was standing in front of the vehicle. You're correct.
Okay. Hey, Mallory, thank you so much, fam, for coming up.
Thanks, Smitty.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Erica, go ahead, fam. I know you want to say something.
Yeah, so thank you, Smitty. Have a great night, Mallory. My whole thing with it is that you said that no one was in his shoes at that time. So we're like, I think you said Monday morning quarterbacking this whole situation. Here's the thing, though, is that if the Hennepin County attorney has her way, then this will be a case that will be tried, and he'll likely be tried, by a jury of his peers. A jury of his peers could be you, it could be me, it could be KGR, all right? Because hey, we get called for jury duty, and guess what? We'll have to look at these same videos to make a decision as to whether or not this agent used excessive force and whether or not that pew-pewing was justified. All right. So when you say that we're Monday morning quarterbacking or whichever, all right, is that no, we're not. No, we're not. What we're doing is we're using the information that we have available to make an informed decision is what we're doing. It's just that my informed decision disagrees with yours.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like I said, I do find this conversation healthy because it puts my perspective and it also gives me your perspective. But you're right. At the end of the day, it is going to be judged by 12.
Yep, absolutely. KGR fam, welcome to the panel. Your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm just going to point this out. So you said, Wolf, you're former federal law enforcement.
That's correct.
How often are federal law enforcement officers allowed to wear masks when they are approaching the public and when they are walking around?
During my time, I did not wear a mask.
Of course, that's correct, because law enforcement are not supposed to wear masks.
There's no policy. There
is a policy in which an officer has to identify themselves. Now, let's keep going. Did you know that most ICE agents only go through 6 weeks of training? That was leaked by Hegseth's own office. So they get 6 weeks of training. Did you know that half of the people that they were giving these agent license, giving them ICE status, do you know how many of them have histories of DV and arrests? Did you know that 3 people who were in a graduating class from ICE training at the 6-week class already had felony warrants for their arrests?
I would love to see your sourcing.
I do. You can go to the Associated Press. You can go to Huffington Post. You can go to Al Jazeera. You can even go to CNN. All of them have the documentation of all of these ICE agents. First and foremost, they only go through 6 weeks of training. That's one.
I would love to see.
Yeah, that is how this works.
Actual
I
articles.
just told you where to go look. Now, I'm going to also have an issue because here's the deal. If first off, they are not law enforcement. They do not have the right to go to random citizens and demand they do anything. They cannot do that. They have to have a signed warrant before they do anything in order to enact only the things that have to do with immigration. That has nothing to do with the general public. So they are already in violation of the orders of their job. That's 2. 3, let's just get into point blank period. 4 men who are masked screaming at a woman in a van, running towards her, screaming random shit when you don't know who they are, considering that the FBI already has a warning on their website stating, well, you need to make sure they're actually really ICE agents because a lot of people have been impersonating them because they wear fucking masks. That is the problem with this entire thing. They are not law enforcement. They don't go through a year-long fucking training. They get 6 weeks. They barely get their background checks. Most of them don't even meet the requirements to go into regular law enforcement. They couldn't even get hired by a local PD. So I have a serious problem with you justifying four men attacking a lone woman with masks on, no legal right to be there, no legal right, no authority to demand shit, and then pew-pewing her because she did what any woman would do in that situation. Get the fuck away. Because I hate to break it to you, where I live in Virginia, because we have had ICE raids here, I'm just going to be right straight up to you. Our police department told citizens, if you see people with masks, you drive away, you call 911, and you ask for real police officers, because they don't know these people either. So that is how that works. So before you sit there, oh, well, he had to assess it. But you expect the general public who have not been trained in law enforcement or executions of American citizens.
No, thank you, fam. Thank you, fam. Let's let Wolf respond, and then I'm going to let you go, KJ. I appreciate you, fam. Not my typical format. I'm just doing one question at a time. I'm keeping Wolf up longer because of.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Can we hype KGR up, please? KGR, you better talk, speak on it.
Wolf, your
I need to
response.
show her some love.
I definitely want to hear your response, Wolf.
Given her tone, I don't find a healthy discussion there. So I just want to say thank you for your perspective.
Okay.
Well, my tone is just like those ICE agents who were screaming and cussing and swearing at a lone woman while wearing masks. No real identifying, no real anything. You can order their uniform on Amazon. So I really want you to tell me my tone as a member of the general public. You expect me as a regular citizen, or any person as a regular citizen, to be able to be better managed emotionally and regulatory in any situation than an officer who you claim is trained. That is the perspective you need to understand. Why do you expect people who have not gone through any type of law enforcement training to be better at managing it? And I'm going to tell you this, I'm a social worker. I've been attacked multiple times dealing with people. I've had to go into homes and remove people. I want you to understand those are really dangerous situations. And I want to tell you, law enforcement asks for us to go in, and we go in with a clipboard and a notebook and our phone. We are not given pew-pews or knives or bear spray, none of that. We go in knowing that these are dangerous situations, and we know how to de-escalate. And we are social workers. So before you actually want to hold the general public to a higher standard, understand social workers already do get held to a higher standard. And you people, these ICE agents and people like you, are failing. You should not be allowed to carry any type of weaponry for people like you who don't understand how dangerous it is. And you don't know how to de-escalate because someone trying to get away from you because you're a masked man screaming obscenities and trying to break out my window? Oh, she should have just stood still. And then when we find out that that person was most likely someone impersonating an ICE agent, which really could have happened, because it's happened now, 13 times that they've recorded? And that's just on the East Coast? Yeah, so we're supposed to comply with someone who could be attempting to kidnap us? I want you to know how silly you sound, and the fact that the FBI had to put out a warning stating not to do that. Where local law enforcement agencies and my state police, my county police are all saying, do not comply, call 911, and do not answer anything because we don't even know if these people are real. Okay. That is the actual situation, sir. But you can drop me, Smitty. Love you.
Yeah, thank you, Pam. Yeah, appreciate you coming up. To KJR's point, right? To KJR's point, though. Oh, did you want to say something, Erica? Go ahead, fam. Go ahead. I don't need to.
I was just saying, KGR cleared. She cleared. She cleared. She did. She cleared because, Wolf, of course, I know you want to respond. Another thing I want you to take into account, you do know that they have relaxed standards for ICE agents. They not only dropped the minimum age for 21 down to 18, they also, where they used to have a propensity to hire those who have former law enforcement experience and military experience, they've actually removed that requirement, and they're just pretty much hiring any and everyone. I believe one of the women previously did mention that, but I mean, we got to admit that these aren't likely the same type of agents that you were working with.
No, I would absolutely love to see sourcing that's not CNN or Huffington Post, like legit sourcing. In my eyes, like.
Why Why don't you think CNN is a legitimate source, Wolf?
I think that goes into a whole different discussion.
All right. We don't want to talk. Okay, that's fine. I mean, okay. All right. We'll just let that go. All right. So, if you want to come up and debate either Erica or Wolf, feel free to request. I'm gonna try to get as many folks as I can to come up and express themselves. You just got to be as quick as you can. Okay, like 1 minute. Okay, I'm just gonna let up. Right, folks.
Yeah, no, I'll have to hop off here soon. So,
let me know. Let me know.
Place,
right. Yeah. Take whenever. Just let me know. Yeah, totally. Let me know.
Here.
Yeah. No, you're good. David, what are your thoughts?
How you doing, Smitty?
Good. How are you, man?
Thank you for letting me in. First of all.
Yeah, of course.
And, rest in peace, Nicole Good. I just want to say something real quick. There's a representative Presley, right, from that motion to subpoena these records today, videos, radio, everything. And it was voted down 20-20. Republicans and Sherman Comer shot it down. And one of the problems that we're having is that we don't have due process anymore. So we can go back and forth with what happened, but until we hold these guys accountable and have proper investigations and look into the situation, we're going to continue to have these incidents happen. That's just my opinion.
Okay. All right.
That's
thank you, David.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you so much for coming up. Appreciate you. All right. Y'all keep tapping the screen. We're having a very respectful discussion. I think the whole country is talking about what happened tonight. And so please tap the screen, support the live, right? So we can continue this discussion. I'm just going to bring up people that I see, okay, and give them an opportunity to weigh in. Phoenix fam, how are you?
Fam. Hey, everybody. Hey, Erica. I've been holding my tongue and typing as much as I can in the comments, but as a first responder, to hear what Wolf says. Now, mind you, I am not in law enforcement. No, I'm the ones that law enforcement calls when they up. Okay. To sit up here and victim blame this woman. And I've seen multiple angles of this video. Multiple people recorded this incident that happened with the young lady who, let's be real, had her dog in the car and her child. So now her child has PTSD from being exposed to the unaliving of her mother. The dog has PTSD because people forget pets experience post-traumatic stress disorder. And a whole community has now lost someone. As someone that is the one that they call to respond to when these things happen, it is very callous of you to say this. It is very callous of you to blame the victim when they shouldn't have been holding on to the car in the first place. And I know people in law enforcement. First and foremost, I'm in Chicago. ICE was right up here not too long ago. Matter of fact, an incident with ICE that led to the unaliving of a man in Highland Park occurred. And they tried the same thing that they did with this young lady. Try to blame her, and you're doing the same thing. I don't care that they're federal agents. In my mind, they're Gestapo. They're underqualified. They're undertrained. Because every police officer I know and federal ones that I have had contact with in my lovely state and city know damn well you don't hold on to a vehicle. You don't stand in the way of a moving vehicle. If you're going to stop a moving vehicle, you attack the tires. You don't pew pew into the car. They made that mistake with Laquan McDonald, 17 shots. So I think what you need to do is stop capping for these individuals and realize that A, a life was taken. B, these people are not trained to do the job that they are being paid for. Because I see the ads. Join ICE, $50,000 signing bonus. Half of these people can't even read. They can't spell. They can't function. They can't determine right from wrong. They're not following ICE protocols. Period.
Let's let
To my
them
girls
y'all.
that came up here before y'all ate.
Let's let them come in. I'm sorry, fam. Let's let them come in. Wolf, if you want to respond to that.
You know, I struggle with that when you say, "Oh, just shoot the tires." The same argument goes when a deadly force is presented against you. Like, say, somebody has a knife. A lot of people say, "Oh, why didn't you tase them? Why didn't you shoot them in the arm? Why didn't you shoot them in the leg? Why didn't you shoot the
First and
tire?"
foremost, no, I'm gonna stop you right there with a knife because that's close contact, and you're not. And you're going to react differently in close. A car has many ways you can disable the vehicle without harming the individual.
Within 2 feet? Within 3 feet?
Okay. Are we looking at the same video? Are we looking at the same video with a person? Where are we looking?
Agent should have been dragged underneath the car.
Wolf.
All I'm saying is that it is a horrible situation.
Hold on, real quick. Let's just go one at a time. Go, Wolf.
It is a horrible tragedy what happened. I can't explain to you why that officer was in front of the car, and I can't explain to you why she drove off. But at the end of the day, his life was threatened when she drove that car toward him, and he responded appropriately with deadly force. Deadly force car meets deadly force.
But here's his okay.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, and I'm not no shell for my fellow first responders, nor for law enforcement that I know. But the evidence in that video, because that's what they will be using when this man stands trial. He was in the wrong in the first place, because why was his person damn near in her vehicle? Why was he holding onto the car? Why was the other one in her window? There is video evidence.
Yes, there's one on his window, and there's one in front of the car.
There is literally clear video evidence of where these officers were at on her vehicle.
That's correct, and you can see in one video that officer gets clipped by the car.
So let's do this, y'all.
They should not have been holding onto a car in the first place.
So let's do this. Just because I got like 40 people.
They were not properly trained to do that. I'm sorry, Smitty. I'm gonna hurry up because I know.
No, you're good.
It's booming up here. Long story short is this: you need to see the flaws in what they did instead of victim shaming and blaming.
I'm not victim shaming at all.
No, I'm talking because you've done this to 3 other women on this panel, and you're not going to continue to talk over me. You wanted respect, and I gave you respect when you were talking, and it's my turn. So you can stop your misogynistic mess now, because there are other women that are going to speak on this panel. So as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by someone that claims to be law enforcement. You need to look at the reality of the situation and stop capping for them, to use Gen Z speak. They were in the wrong. Those 2 men were in the wrong. Period. And no training is going to cover up for that. Because they're going to do the same thing that they did with the case in Highland Park, and they're going to try to cover it up and blame the victim until it comes out as it is now, as even the body cam footage that will come out and show that they were in the wrong. And I land my plane.
All right, Phoenix. Thank you, fam. Yeah, thank you for coming up. I appreciate you. All right.
Applause.
Let me go. So let's do this, y'all. Let me let Swan come in, and then Wolf will give you an opportunity to respond if you would like. But again, I'm just start picking folks to get up here really quick and drop really quick. I know Wolf's got to go, and we'll try to get some other folks. If you do think that this was intentional, I'll try to get you up as well. I'm literally just picking some mutuals and some people I've never even had up before. Okay. Swan fam, good to see you. What are your thoughts?
Hey, Smitty, I'm so glad I caught you live. So I think that it's really important for people to understand that Wolf is desensitized. He's desensitized towards human life, right? And I would argue that a lot of law enforcement are that way, right? Anytime he gives a response, there's no level of like humanity within him to talk about this woman losing her life. He's incapable of that. We have to stop expecting that from him, right? He is a law enforcement machine. That's how they get trained. That's what they get turned into. So he's not going to comprehend the humanity aspect of this. But I want to speak to that aspect of this, right? An amazing being. Wait, I'm sorry. She was an amazing human being. Mother identifies woman that that was unalived by ICE agent. He has not said anything about knowing anything about this woman. Like she was an amazing human being. He doesn't care about that. I came across an article. I was just trying to look up some information. I came across an article. It's the trace.org. And they talk about ICE's hidden history with pew-pewings when it comes to how they deal with migrants. So from 2015 to 2021, ICE agents were responsible for at least 59 shootings. 23 of them were fatal. There's no evidence any ICE agent was indicted, right? So knowing that, right, there are no repercussions that any ICE agent would have to worry about because they're not being indicted, right? This isn't something that we talk about often. We could also even look into the amount of ICE or migrants that have been unalived in facilities, right? But I just say all that to say that I think it's clear what's happening. The propaganda that's been pushed out, right? You've got people losing their minds over things that they don't understand. The propaganda that's being put out is that migrants are a problem. And we're seeing this as an obvious issue globally. Europe, right? They're having so many issues with Islamophobia and non-white migrants that are coming into their countries, right? I just looked up information about Ireland. This is the worst year that they've had with hate crimes perpetuated towards ethnic minorities and people that are Muslim in over 10 years. Wolf is a product of this machine that was created to convince people that they have to fixate on marginalized communities. That way the elite can do whatever it is that they want to do. It's clear. We have seen this happen and this cycle play out over and over and over again. We know what it is. I don't think that we can have a genuine conversation with somebody like Wolf. I don't think that he truly cares about humanity because a goal should be to keep people alive, right? He's not going to recognize the fact that this woman may have been through something traumatic and that's why she responded the way that she did. He doesn't care about those things along with the other people. I don't know if, and the last thing I'll say is, I don't know if y'all have seen Patriot Front, any videos of this group. They have land, I think it's in Tennessee, and they have white men who are in a white supremacist group, right? Who are, they're training. They're training, right? They cover their faces just like these ICE agents. It is very clear what is happening here. It's very clear as to what is happening here. Yes, I understand that she was white, but my point is this behavior, this aggressive behavior, right? Where we're seeing an increase in unalivings when it comes to their approach. It is because of all of the propaganda and everything that we are taking in. So yes, there are going to be some white people that are going to be casualties. They are 100%. But the point that I'm trying to make is that this is happening this way right now because that's what this administration wants to happen. That's what these governments want to happen, right? This is not happening by mistake, right? We're seeing all this propaganda and, people were inundated with messaging about how horrible migrants are. We didn't have this number. I think we've had the highest amount of pew-pewings towards people who are migrants in 2025 under Trump. This was not an issue in the past. Not as like how bad it is right now. It wasn't this bad before. Why? Because of the propaganda. But I just wanted to say for everybody to protect your peace and stop expecting humanity from people like Wolf. They don't have it in them. They do not have it in them. They've been robbed of it. That's what they're trained to do, to not to see humanity, right? The goal should be to keep people alive. I would imagine that would be the goal. But obviously we're seeing that Wolf is a product of this machine, this propaganda, and white supremacy. He does not give a fuck about people's humanity. He doesn't.
Thanks, Swan. Appreciate you coming up. All right, we're gonna let Swan go. And Wolf, your response?
I love you, Swan. Sorry, I'm cooking, but I love you. Drop some hearts in the chat for Swan.
Wolf, you want to? Oh, hold on. I think we got to unmute Wolf. Hold on. Give me a second.
Hey, Smitty, this is a very serious topic here. All right, one of my defense mechanisms is humor, so my apologies. I'm trying to lighten and bring some levity here. This is very, very heavy.
Very, very intense. Yes. Absolutely. No, go ahead, Wolf. Go ahead.
The first thing that I need to respond to, and I find it extremely disrespectful because you don't know me as a person, and you cannot lump me into that I have no empathy for human life. I said at the very beginning of this conversation that it was a tragedy. Before I was a prior federal law enforcement officer, I did 9 years in the Army. I've lost multiple soldiers. I wanted to serve my community. That's why I went into federal law enforcement. I've had to respond to active shooter situations where I'm putting my life first and the safety of others. So the fact that you can sit here and say that I have no human regard for human life is ridiculous. What I'm seeing from this video is how an agent would respond if a car was coming at him. I feel terrible for her, for the victim, for her family. But at the end of the day, the situation happened. She drove the car at the agent and he responded in those 2 seconds that he had to that threat, to that deadly threat.
But let me just ask you a question, Wolf, and I want to bring in Sarah. And again, I'll try to get other folks up. Again, I know we got a lot of people in the queue. When you say she drove the car at the agent, what I saw on the video, Wolf, is when she is moving forward, right? She goes in reverse and she's moving forward. It really seems like she cranks the steering wheel really hard to the right to avoid the agent. Do you not agree with that? Or do you feel like she was, from what you saw, she was going directly towards the agent?
I believe you can. Did you see the ring camera footage from the house?
I didn't see I saw two angles. One was from one side of the street, one was for the other. I don't think I saw a ring camera.
So there's a camera from one of the neighborhood houses that are further up on the street, and you can clearly see that agent was clipped by the vehicle, and that is when he responded with a deadly threat.
I'll check it out. Now, from what I heard, though, the timing of again, we're using TikTok-friendly words, right? The pew-pew it sounded like even before he got clipped. Can somebody verify? Is that what y'all saw in the chat? Maybe I'm wrong. Or Wolf, did you? That's what I had. That's what I had kind of
from the viewpoint I saw. He responded afterwards.
Okay, that's not what Erica, you want to jump in on that? No, you good? Okay, I think Erica's busy.
I started. Yeah, I'm about to start eating. No, and from what I saw, it looked like as she put the car in reverse, he started to move around to the side and he started shooting her. I mean, God dang it, pew-pewing her. Tap, tap, tap the screen, y'all. Tap, tap, tap the screen.
Thank you. Okay, so
sorry,
disagreement on the timing. No, you good, fam. A disagreement on the timing. That's what I saw too, Wolf. Let me go to Sarah. Sarah, you want to come up? I don't think you've ever come up.
I would love for you to find that video.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
No, you're right. No, I've never been up. First time ever on a live. Hi, Smitty. I know.
I'm honored.
And my heart is like pounding. Anyway, I wanted to clarify a few things. Her name was Renee Nicole Good. She was a writer. She was a poet. Her child's father passed away in 2023, so she was the last parent that child had. Mm-hmm. The child was not in the car at the time. They were at school, but her wife was there with her, sitting right next to her, along with their dog. There's actually a video from one of the neighbors where you can hear the wife crying. I guess they also needed a leash for the dog, and she was trying to find a leash for the dog. You can also see there's a photo of the car after Renee had been removed, and you can see a little stuffed animal sticking out of the, the glove compartment. There are multiple videos from different angles. There's even a video of before the ICE agents get out of their truck. You can see that she allows another vehicle, an SUV, to pass in front of her. And then she waves to this truck with the ICE agents in it to go right in front of me. You can go right in front of me. Instead, they get out of their car and escalate this situation. And that's when this horrible incident takes place. So there's another creator on here, Brenna. She did a really nice video of, how you can see the officer who shot her, pew-pewed. Everybody tap. I thought I was going to be really good about using TikTok-friendly language in here.
Be surprised.
Nope, it's tricky.
Yeah.
there's a video where you can see he walks in front of the vehicle, in front of her SUV, and places himself there. And then as you said, Smitty, she reverses. I think she saw him. I think she knew that he was there and was trying to avoid him. And then as she reverses, she starts to go forward to try and get away from these men who are trying to, one of them even reaches into her car to try and open her door. I think all of us would have responded in trying to get away from a situation like that.
Yeah. Yep.
But I don't, in all the videos I've seen, and I've been paying attention to this today and looking at different videos, I don't see that officer ever getting clipped. I don't think that an officer who got clipped would have the ability, like if you're actually hit by a car, how are you going to have the ability to like go off and shoot them? Pew pew them. That doesn't make sense to me. He also draws his weapon awfully soon. As another panelist said, there's other ways that you could have stopped the vehicle, like shooting out the tire, pew-pewing the tires. And then later, there's a physician who is desperately trying to have them let him go and take a look at her, and also trying to tell them like what they need to do in order to like help her, and they keep her from going there. And I think some of you can think of other situations in the past that have been like that, where other people have passed because people have blocked ambulances from getting there, and they claim that they have their own people, but nobody was helping her.
Right. Let me come in real quick, fam.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I
didn't want to go on too long.
Yeah. I will tell you, and I do want some clarification. Not that this is your investigation, Wolf, or your situation, but that I'm gonna tell you right now, the piece that Sarah just brought up about the fact that it was 8 minutes of this young woman suffering, unable to get medical aid. And I just cannot imagine how that is okay. I cannot imagine. Okay, some people are saying even longer than that. I apologize for that. But
I don't know.
Hold on, fam. Let me just get this out. How is that possible, acceptable, permissible that you have a person that's clearly incapacitated, and there is someone at the scene saying, "I'm a doctor, let me check her pulse"? It's not even that he couldn't get to her. They told him no.
Yeah.
Right? They told him no. So Wolf, again, I'm not saying you're responsible. I'm just trying to understand how is that permissible or allowable when you have someone that can render medical aid and who is not being allowed to do that at the scene? Do you have any reason why that would be okay?
Thank you, Smitty.
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. I'm gonna let you go, Sarah, by the way. Thank you, fam.
Thank you. Great to be up. Great to talk to you.
I'll respond to that based off of my training and experience.
Okay.
When a situation like that happens, you need to control the scene. Regardless of if somebody says they're a doctor or not. Now, I didn't watch a whole lot of the aftermath. When you're involved in an officer-involved shooting, you're supposed to immediately give aid. And if they did not, then that is where they are wrong. I will give that to you guys.
Okay.
But when you are involved in an officer-involved shooting, at that point, you make sure there is no longer a threat, and then you immediately render aid to the best of your ability. Not all law enforcement officers are EMTs or paramedics, but they do have, first responder training to give that big, like that initial treatment before the EMTs and paramedics arrive on scene.
I'd like to add to that, Smitty. Hey fam, how are you? So I've been watching, I've got clips of this saved. I've been watching this since this morning. So here's actually what happened. So a witness who has one of the videos, not the first one that was circulating, the other video where she's screaming and saying, "There's a physician right here." That was her video. So she was up on CNN with Aaron Barnett on CNN. It was the only network that she went up on, and she explained why it took so long. So she describes the scene as chaotic and unorganized. She said it looked like, and it kind of tracks with what you saw in most of the videos, where they don't look like they're coordinated. They look like they're just doing things just impulsively and not looking like they're trained, right? So if you guys remember, if you're looking at the videos, there were several different cars in the middle of the road. That was a one-way road, there was a one-way street. This witness described and said she was the one standing next to that physician. And she was saying, there's a physician right here. Why can't he help? That this is the witness screaming this to the ICE agent, and he is armed, and he says, "We have our own people." That's what he said. And she screams back, and she says, "Well, where are they?" And he ignored her. He didn't say anything. Turns out, again, it was a one-way street. After the incident happened, okay, and Wolf can talk to training, but all the analysts and everybody who have viewed this says it was so unprofessional, like lack of training, the whole, like amateurs, how they're describing it. They abandoned the vehicle, Smitty, in the street. So when the ambulance did come, they couldn't get down the street. They could not get the ambulance down the street. And it took them, according to this witness, it took them 15 minutes to get on the scene. When they did arrive, because they could not get the ambulance down the street, they come running down the street to where Renee was to try to render aid. And they couldn't even get a stretcher over there. And she describes Renee being carried out, carried out with no stretcher by the EMT. So that's why it took so long, because they abandoned the cars and ICE abandoned the cars in the street, got the agent who did the pew-pewing out of there, did not remove the cars, and that's why they couldn't get the ambulance down the street.
Let me let Wolf, if you want to respond to that. Then I want to bring up Melanie. I know Melanie wants to add something, and then I want to let Jermaine. And again, I'm gonna try to get a couple more folks up, and then we'll probably end up wrapping it here pretty soon. But Wolf, if you want to respond to what Nichelle had to say.
To be honest, I don't have a whole lot to say to the end, because I didn't watch the end, the reaction. So I don't want to speak out of place here.
Okay.
I can only give you my insight based on my training and experience.
Okay.
And that is first, control the chaos, control the scene, render aid, and then get medical personnel to the person who is injured.
So. Okay. I'm gonna let it go. I was gonna ask another question, but to be fair, that's fine. Let me go to Melanie. Melanie, fam, how are you? It's been a long time.
Oh my God, what a day!
Yeah, I can only imagine you being up there. I know. Yep.
I'm so sorry if I get emotional ahead of time,
you're
but
good, fam. Take your time. Go ahead.
It just really hit home for many of us here, because I mean, many of us are part of, this whole communication system that we have, either through Signal or WhatsApp, or group chats, where if we see ICE agent activities or ICE raids in any area, we, right away message each other, and one of us goes and one, confirms that it's ICE, and two, sees what we can do to alert the community, or if, anyone needs help in that area, to make sure that we can make sure they're home, they stay home, or if we need to get them out of there, get them out of there. And so the fact that this is like 45 minutes away from my home, and anybody in our team, it could have been, and the fact that she's not going home to her kids, it just, it really, I cannot believe like this is happening nowadays, that this is where we're at. I cannot, there was just so many emotions processed. And at the end of the day, as I come home and I'm like hugging my kids, and I'm just so grateful that, I could come home to my family, I just kept thinking, like, this is not the first time that an ICE agent does this. It is not. And I'm grateful that people are outraged, but in Chicago, it was a Hispanic man that died, that got shot. And I hope people don't take this the wrong way, but to some extent, it almost made me feel like if it would have been me, would my life be as valuable for people to be as outraged, you know, because I am not YT. You know, I am just like that Hispanic that got shot in Chicago. And so I am so grateful that people are out and are protesting and are having these conversations. But I pray that this stops. And I also pray that we do this for any person that this happens to, because many of us that are out there doing this work are not blonde, blue-eyed, and fair-skinned. I will tell you that.
Okay. All right, Melanie. Hey, thank you so much, fam, for coming up. Appreciate you. Yeah, you too. All right, let's do this. Let me go to Jermaine. Go ahead, bro. Again, we got to go about a minute apiece, y'all, with your comments. Okay, a minute apiece, and that's all I'm gonna let y'all. I'm gonna cut y'all after a minute. Cut y'all's comment after a minute.
Can I just real strict? I respect it though.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Wolf. If you want to say something, I didn't give you an opportunity.
No, this is going to receive a lot of hate. I already know it before I say it, but if that agent didn't react the way he did, and again, I believe he responded with deadly force. Say she did run him over, then she loses control, hits a person on the sidewalk. How does that change the narrative?
That wasn't a narrative though; those are hypotheticals.
I mean, it is a hypothetical, but
I mean, but
as,
we're talking
as a law
facts,
enforcement
though,
officer,
right, Wolf?
you're not only protecting yourself, but you're also protecting people around you as well. So if you become a deadly threat to not only me or to the community, I'm going to respond in that fashion.
You're asking, Wolf, how would we have responded if the agent unfortunately lost their life in that interaction?
Oh, I didn't hear that. I heard if
That's what I was asking.
I heard if he hadn't done what he did, right,
Yeah,
and then she drives off, and then maybe she loses control because she drives off erratically, and then she strikes a pedestrian on the sidewalk or something like that.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
It could go either way. You hit the agent, you lose control and hit somebody else in the public, or you. Again, she did hit the agent. I sent the video. But hypothetically, that's where I'm coming from. Like that is what you have to take that viewpoint as a police officer.
Yeah, I guess the way I look at it is that I put a lot more responsibility on the professionals, right? Folks that are supposed to be professional in that situation. And again, I keep going back, Wolf, to what we talked about earlier about the to me, in my opinion, the lack of de-escalation, which caused her to drive away. And so, again, I think that, right, if we're talking about where you place blame or whatever it may be, if you have professionals that are supposed to de-escalate and you have a civilian, then I'm gonna place more blame on the professionals, just like a professional in anything. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and I find that completely valid. Okay. But as a professional, when you're given that 2 seconds to react to a threat, you're meeting deadly force with deadly force.
Okay. Let me let
a lot of people are going to disagree with me. A lot of people don't have my training or experience, or they're going to say how they feel, and I understand. This is. Don't get me wrong. This is a very tragic situation. Somebody lost their life, and that is extremely tragic. Again, I cannot say it enough that for her family and for herself, I send my condolences. But from strictly this conversation, I am looking at it was it justified or was it not justified? And that will, of course, be judged by 12. And I do believe that it will be a justified shooting.
Okay. Let me let Jermaine come in. Go ahead, Jermaine. You got like a minute and a half, bro. Minute and a half.
Okay. Thanks, Mitty. All right. Mm-hmm. So I just want to make a few things clear. He's for current law enforcement, former law enforcement. I think it don't really matter because what they're gonna do, Smitty, they're gonna always side with law enforcement. No matter how they say, well, I feel sorry for the parent, I feel sorry for who it happened to. At the end of the day, they align with each other, and that's why he's sticking to his guns. At the end of the day, Smitty, because it is all a law enforcement, all level, whatever you want to, law enforcement or not, they are all. We lost you, under that umbrella of fascism, Smitty. That's just facts. Like a system that was born and created to terrorize individuals and their communities all over the country. That is not a system that's trained to de-escalate. We've seen it many times where policemen, law enforcement has failed to de-escalate. They didn't de-escalate to Amir Rice, did they? Did they de-escalate the situation in Philando Castile in his car? No, they didn't. We can go on and on and on, Smitty, how many times they have failed, but it's not, they don't want to. They don't want, yeah, they're probably trained to de-escalate, but they don't want to de-escalate, Smitty. They are going to do is pew pew first. And because they know they have immunity, they know they have the courts in the system to back them, so they are going to feel more emboldened. Now that they feel more emboldened by Orange Man in office, and I'm not just speaking off emotions because I am emotional, but it's also facts too by what we've seen living in this backyard. They are going to keep doing what they're doing because now they feel more emboldened because they know they're going to get away with it.
Okay.
At the end of the day, because to them it's all justifiable. Immunity, they have it. We don't.
I got you.
And I'm gonna just touch on this before I finish, Smitty. This is what happened from the funding and the militarization of this organization. And this is what it led to, Smitty. It's no matter if you're black, Hispanic, Latino, white, if you are pushing back and fighting against the inhumane things that they do, we are a liable target and victim, Smitty, at the end of the day. So it's really, and I understand he's speaking from his law enforcement, but he's siding with his people. That's what they do, no matter what, at the end of the day. It's unjustifiable. All of it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming up, man. I appreciate you. Normally I give you way more time.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Let me go. I just want to give space for Erica or Nichelle if y'all want to say anything. Is there anybody that, by the way, in the chat, is there anybody that sides with Wolf? I mean, to be fair, I'm bringing up a mix of mutuals and random people. Is there anybody that wants to side with Wolf? Like, hey, let me give Wolf a break. If you want to come up, let me know. But Erica and Nichelle, feel free to jump in, fam, while I try to figure that piece out.
Yeah, Bubba is talking to me about this because I guess he saw it on YouTube or something. So, I gotta talk to an 11-year-old about it.
Okay, Nichelle, you want to say anything?
Yeah, well, a lot of people are asking about, what charges, that I was on another live, and that was a question that came up, whether it could be state or federal. Looks like it would be, if charges were to be brought against that agent, it would be state. I would encourage everybody to go and look at the press conference that the mayor and the sheriff and the chief of police did. Very illuminating. They're angry and upset. The other thing I would like to draw a distinction about, and I'm doing this because this is what came up in the media today. Again, this was 4 blocks away from where George Floyd was unalived. And so a lot of people on the ground are responding to that and bringing that up as well. And they're also talking about, me personally, as an observer, was watching to see what the aftermath was going to be like. The governor did not activate the National Guard. He alerted them to just kind of be ready should things break out. And I'm happy to report that there hasn't been any type of rioting or violence or anything. It's more like a vigil at this time. So I think that's a distinction to be made.
Okay. Hey, Tailpipe, if you want to request again, I'll try to get you up. But I think Tailpipe will probably be the last person I get up today. If you want, put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to do this tomorrow morning. If you come back tomorrow morning, if you want to have a live on what happened in Minneapolis, I will. I'll do another one. And I appreciate all of the love, by the way. Comments are just coming really fast, but I do see them. I really appreciate the fact that you guys are feeling like, hey, this is educational and well run. Again, it makes me feel good that at least we can provide some sort of discussion around what's going on. So let me go to your mama. Your mama, go ahead. I definitely want to hear your perspective. Go ahead. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, I watched the video because, I don't listen to what people say. I watched the video, and it was this lady's fault. right? She's an adult. She made the conscious decision to go out there and not follow traffic laws. She was obviously blocking the lane. And then when she found out, like, oh, hey, ICE agents are seeing what I'm doing, I'm going to try to get away and try to run them over, because I've seen what happens in all these blue states where their leaders are pretty much telling them, like, hey, don't listen to ICE agents, federal agents, listen to us. But these people don't help the individual. They're just trying to escalate for votes and for politics, right? And this is what happens when you don't obey the laws, when you take the law into your own hands. You know, you obstruct justice, you get shot. I don't really have any sympathy for her as a mother myself.
Ouch.
She wasn't out getting groceries. She wasn't out getting groceries.
But when you
minding her
say you don't have
business.
sympathy,
She made the
can I
conscious
talk to you?
effort to do that.
Okay. So
No, she
let's
made the conscious effort to do that.
hold on, y'all. Real quick.
As a mother, she did that, and she
But
left the kids alone to be very self-centered.
so you think so? Okay. You think that a woman that's got a car full of teddy bears got in that car and wanted to go ahead and unalive ICE agents when she had her steering wheel completely cranked in the opposite direction?
No, as a mother, you take responsibility for your kids, right? So she's 37, so her kids are of school age, right? So she should have either been working or going grocery shopping or whatever. But she made the conscious decision to go out there and protest because there were a lot of people on the street. There was a car that left before her, before she decided to leave. So she made this choice. And then because she made this choice, she got shot. These are choices that she made as an adult. I don't feel sorry for her because she could have made a choice like, hey, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to use my car. I'll go and protest peacefully, as we should, as our right. But she did this. So I don't really feel bad for her.
But when you say she did this, okay, so let me just understand this. And then we're going to go to closing comments because I do got to run, y'all. You think, your mom, again, I'm just trying to understand, you think that she intentionally tried to strike this ICE officer?
She did. I saw the video. She could have stopped and been gone, but she was like, oh, I'm going to back up abruptly and then go forward abruptly. And she saw that there was an officer in front of her, but she decided to go.
You don't know
And
what
these are
she
the
saw.
choices that she makes. These are the choices that she makes as an adult. She
You
wasn't
don't know what she
even
saw.
going with the flow. She wasn't even going with the flow of traffic. She was blocking traffic.
Okay,
And
so real
she's a
quick.
resident of Minnesota, so she understands how the roads are during this time of year. So she was not stuck. She was not trying to do a U-turn. She was purposely obstructing justice. So I don't really feel bad for her.
Okay, let me bring in Erica. Go ahead, Erica. Go ahead, fam.
Okay. All right. First things first, this goes back to what I said earlier. It's crazy how people who voted for a particular person can see things one way and how people who voted for another person see things differently. All right. When we're looking at the exact same thing, that woman did not run her car into the officer. She did not turn the wheels towards the officer. She literally was turning away. That's what she was doing. Now, with that being said, yo mama, all right, with all due disrespect, girl, fuck you. And the reason why I say that, all right, is simply because you
I'm not
sit
going
here
to be
and claim as
disrespected
a
by some
mother, you just got
ignoramus.
disrespected because
But
you
you're an
disrespected
ignoramus. Like
her.
I'm.
You can call me what you want. You call me what
But
you
you
want,
are an
but I know what I
ignoramus.
am. I have
You.
empathy for this woman and I have
Yes.
sympathy for her child
This
because her child is left
idiot
without
who
both
went out
parents.
there
You
and
can keep
did
doing
this
that
on
all you
purpose.
want to, but you're not getting any point across
You're
because I'm
wrong, though.
still talking. So there's that. Now, with that being
So real
said,
quick,
you are
let's let
literally
Erica finish, y'all.
showing
Go
you
ahead,
are
Erica.
literally
Go ahead.
showing the cruel and heartless person in which you are. And you are showing exactly why, when this is all said and done, people like you will wear the scarlet letter. You will have that M branded in the middle of your forehead so everyone would know just how heartless, cruel, and deplorable you really friggin' are. They will know it. You sit here, a woman died, even if you think that she is at fault, to say that you do not have any sympathy for her is really, really fucked up. For you to even come out of your neck like that.
My choice.
It is deplorable. Yes,
No,
it is your choice. It is my choice to cut your silly ass out. That's my choice, okay? So there's that. Now, with that being said, when this is all said and done, and that officer is, well, I have to call him an officer because that's what they refer to him as. So I'm actually going to say agent. When that agent is brought up on charges and that agent is found guilty for excessive force and murder, all right, by a jury of his peers, as Wolf said, judged by 12, all right, then, and then, only then, all right, should you, all right, do whatever the fuck it is you do on this app and apologize. You should apologize because that is sick. Why would you even come up here and say something like that? If you wanted to rage bait, bitch, you were successful. You were successful. Congratulations. Congratulations. Your mission has been accomplished. What the fuck is wrong with you, Sabini? What is wrong with these people? To say you don't have any sympathy is disgusting.
Run your mouth. Listen, I don't understand. Okay, let me bring in Tailpipe. Hold on. Give me a second.
So, Smitty, there's a reason why many departments have a very strict policy that, yes, though a vehicle can be used for deadly force, but there's a reason why departments have a no-shoot policy and no standing in front of a potentially fleeing vehicle. There are departments all around the United States that have that policy. I don't know if ICE necessarily has that policy. However, the unfortunate part about this is the other gentleman that was on here before, who's also got LEOSA credentials like me, there's a portion of this where I don't think that he was advocating for whether or not the guy was justified per se in the absolute sense, but he's, I think, trying to articulate the legal basis that why he's not going to be found guilty. Under the law, objective reasonableness details that what would the reasonable officer do in his position? Would they fire their weapon? And again, you don't have to look at all of the other potentials. You just have to look at what is. The vehicle was in motion in his direction. But at the end of the day, from all of us that are in here, you don't need to be an officer to understand this. Why would you stand in front of a moving vehicle? Like nobody in their right mind would do that. There's a deep part within the law enforcement community that's not talked about. And it's the, I wish a motherfucker would type of opportunity that exists sometimes where you basically want a motherfucker to try to do something like that so that you can get your gun off at the end of the day. I say this in deference to the law enforcement community since I've been a part of it to a degree, but like under no circumstances is this something where, in my opinion, on my personal side, that I feel like he was justified for doing. It's just fucking wrong. Period. The end. However, he's not. If he's charged, I'll be surprised. But he definitely will not be convicted for this. It'd be hard to believe that he is. If he's charged, so be it. It's probably to keep the population quiet and cull them a little bit. But under no circumstances will he be charged based off the rule of law and the precedent that's existed before with fleeing potential suspects and vehicles that are in motion towards an officer. Again, okay. I'm not agreeing with it, but he's not going to be charged, man.
Okay. Well, what do you think?
I would like to get on the record that I disagree. I disagree.
I got you. Let me just bring in Wolf. What did you think about what Tailpipe said? Does that track?
No, I think he explained. I think he explained what I was trying to say. At the end of the day, he articulated that very well. When it goes, if it ever does go to court, they're going to look at, and if a reasonable officer would make that same decision.
Okay.
And that's why it's going to be a justified shooting, and he will not be charged and convicted.
Michelle, you got a significant legal background. Go ahead.
Yes, I would just like to. Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm very frustrated. I'm so blown off about Yo Mama, but Erica handled that. Seriously, they said that about George Floyd too.
We're just talking emotions with zero
Yo
facts,
Mama,
unlike
I swear to God. Listen, I'm a mother. I'm a mother. Zip it.
Mother as
I'm
well.
like, seriously.
And this
It's one thing.
woman made a
No.
choice,
Hold on.
and
Let me explain something to you. Seriously, all respect. Seriously.
explain something
It's
to
one
me like
thing.
I
No.
don't understand what.
Hold on, your
Thank you,
mama.
Mod.
I'll
just
give you
want
another
to.
opportunity. Let me let Michelle
Please let me
get her
speak.
counterpoint to what Tailpipe.
Everyone else gets to speak. Let me speak. It's one thing to disagree. It's another thing to be a complete asshole and not have empathy. And as a mother, I don't understand how you could even say what you said. But Erica, like I said, handled that. I would just like to point out, Smitty, and again, I've been watching this literally since you went live this morning. I've not changed the channel other than to go to different news channels because I like to follow the legal framing of this. And I would have to push back, I'm sorry, on Tailpipe and Wolf. Well, let me say this. There are legal analysts who fundamentally disagree. There were people within the department that said this is problematic. Now, I disagree that he won't be charged. Now, whether or not he's found guilty, that's a different thing. I think he absolutely is going to be charged. Fundamentally, neglect, like negligence, training, they're all bringing up those things. I would also like to point out that they thought that George Floyd's case was slam dunk too, that there's no way, because police officers and law enforcement are given quite a bit of latitude, unfortunately, in this country. So before we start saying, oh, we think, there's just no way. I mean, it hasn't even been 6 hours, 10 hours yet. Like, and to not have sympathy is beyond. I would like to point out that child's mother passed away this morning, and that child's father passed away a couple years ago. That child is an orphan that you're talking about when you say that she deserved it. No, she didn't deserve it. And like Tailpipe said, jumping in front of a vehicle like that, if you actually look at the video, you'll see the other agent jumps out of the way when she starts to move her car. And you want to know the first thing analysts were talking about today were the direction of those front tires. They were pointing away from the agent. Okay, so there's a lot that's going to go in. I mean, I've literally watched it, Smitty, since you went live this morning. I've been watching it all day long. So that's all I want to point out, that everybody thought George Floyd's case was wrapped up immediately. Oh, no. He'll get away with it. Yes, the community thought a different thing, but in the end, that's not what happened.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Michelle. We're going to go to closing comments. Okay. I do got to run, but it looks like a lot of y'all want me to do another live. We got quite a few people in the request. So I'll do another live tomorrow morning. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you follow the panelists that you agree with. But we'll go to closing comments. We'll start with James at the top. We'll go to your mama next, and then we'll get the order straightened out after that. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
You did that because I came up here. Hey, Erica. Hey, Michelle. Tailpipe. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Jamal.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well. So, the DA in Hennepin County is Mary Moriarty, if I'm not mistaken. She's a Democratic DA. She is most certainly going to be in court. So, I mean, the ICE agent is definitely going to be in court. He is going to get charged. And the president has the right to pardon federal charges, but not state charges. So there's going to be charges. If a jury convicts her is the next question, right? So you could indict a ham sandwich, is the old saying, except for if you're the Trump administration. I think the issue that I have, and I take, and Erica articulated it way better than I could, is the lack of basic human decency that I see from the right, that can talk so loosely about the life of another human being that was someone's child, that they once held and hoped the world for. It was once someone's teenager that they prayed for. And it just is interesting to me that the party that claims to be morally upright, that puts Bible scriptures in their bios that purport to live by the read words of the text of scripture. And I'm not going to get too far off into scripture. It always amazes me that those people are willing to, with reckless abandon, set aside that for the purpose of scoring some cheap political points. Yeah. I pray for her family. And what they have to be feeling is absolute disgust. And I think the other big thing, Smitty, as I have this conversation that comes top of mind to me is ICE agents are not law enforcement. They're immigration enforcement. There is no, unless they believe a person to not be a U.S. citizen, for them to be engaging with regular citizens in this country, and we have normalized that, and it's improper. It's inappropriate. They should not be engaging in policing responsibilities. And so I think that might be where guilt comes from in a criminal trial, right? Like, I think it's going to come from, why were you engaging a U.S. citizen outside the jurisdiction of the authority granted to you? And maybe not, right? Like, it all depends on the jury. But I do think it's important to say that we have allowed ICE agents to do absolutely reprehensible things. And while Democratic governors have engaged in just kind of pushing back and trying to get them to take their face coverings off, what they should be doing is arresting them for violations of that fall outside their jurisdiction. So stopping a car of a U.S. citizen is detention and kidnapping if it rises to that level. Stopping people and holding them without due process and just cause is kidnapping, right? Like, all of the things that they're doing in the state, the placing of their hands on people outside of their authority is criminal battery, okay? These governors need to make laws to start jailing them, and law enforcement needs to be out there prepared to arrest them. And then they need to let the federal government fight them in court for their freedom. That's how you stop it. So I know I talk long, but you closed right before I came up. Don't side-eye me. Don't you side-eye me.
Oh, goodness. And yeah, okay, I got you, fam. All right. Thank you, man. All right, we're going to go to your mama. I want to give your mom an opportunity if she would like to respond. And then, again, go ahead, your mom. Go ahead.
Thank you. I mean, people saying that I don't have empathy for this person trying to attack me personally, I don't care, because this woman made the conscious decision to do that. And just to speak on what James was saying, we need to come to the realization that federal law supersedes any state law. So governors who like to puff up and make all these state laws infringing upon federal law is actually illegal. So that's my problem, where you're putting your faith in these governors, these mayors who cannot change federal law or impose on anything federally, cannot help you. And that's where these people are delusional, where they obstruct justice and feel that they are justified in it. Like, this woman made the conscious decision as a mother, as a single mother, to go out there and protest. For what? For what? Seriously, for what? She didn't go grocery shopping. She wasn't minding her own business. She purposely did this. And then instead of listening.
Okay, y'all. So we're cutting that 1 minute, y'all. So just to let you know, okay?
She made the decision, and this is what happened. So I don't feel bad for her, because it wasn't like she was minding her own business.
So we're going to cut at 1 minute, y'all. So just let you know, right? So thank you, Mom. All right, let's go to Tailpipe. Go to Tailpipe. 1 minute. It's going to be 1 minute.
Understanding what federalism is, and also understanding what the supremacy clause is crucially important here. Again, two things can be true: that there should be a level of empathy that we all have as human beings to understand that nobody deserves to have a round placed in their forehead because they're trying to escape, flee, or otherwise. That officer made a conscious choice to stand in front of that vehicle. He had other opportunities. Again, there's a level of professionalism that officers have above the average citizen, and he'll be held to that if he is charged and if he does go to court. At the same time, we need to deal with the reality that we have. The courts have consistently held that a fleeing potential suspect or a fleeing vehicle heading towards an officer is a deadly weapon. And that officer does have the right to react accordingly to justified force to stop that potential threat. Again, I don't agree with what he did. I think a lot of law enforcement officers would disagree with what he did too. But we have to deal with the reality that we have. And I think that we should be careful. And I'm thankful for Smitty for holding space like this, because society is being pulled apart at the seams and we're being torn into factions versus the people that are actually the real problem in this country. And we're being convinced that it's black and brown people that are the problem when we're not. And I think that there needs to be a level of humanity that exists to be able to understand that.
Thank you, man. All right, let's go to we'll go to Nichelle, Wolf, and then Erica. And then I want to say something and we'll be done. Go ahead, Nichelle.
I've got my timer on. I'm going to use my time wisely. As a mother who almost lost her daughter in November, I'm going to speak on behalf of Nicole's mother, Miss Granger. Her name was Renee Nicole Good. Her name was Renee Nicole Good. Her name was Renee Nicole Good. She had a son. She had a mother. She had a partner. She had friends. She had family. And she's not with us anymore. I have 19 seconds left. I hope her memory is a good one. I pray for her mother tonight, who can't hold her child anymore. Again, 5 seconds left. Her name was Renee Nicole Good.
Thank you, Nichelle. Appreciate you. Wolf, final comment, 1 minute.
Yeah, absolutely. That one's going to be hard to follow up because I don't want to take away from, the person that died today, Renee. Somebody accused me of not being empathetic. Of course I'm empathetic. I'm empathetic for her family. I'm empathetic for her son or child, whether that was a daughter or a son, and the rest of her family. But I do need to say, given what is shown in that video, she did not listen to lawful commands. She did not, she obstructed. She drove at that officer, whether it was an intentional or not. And in that eyes, as a reasonable officer, he responded to that deadly force with deadly force. A lot of people are going to disagree with me. I do just appreciate you having me on today to give my perspective. But I know Tailpipe, he made a comment that deep down a lot of officers have motherfucker try me. Not all officers are like that. Of course there are going to be some. I never wanted to shoot somebody. So yes, a woman Renee lost her life today, but that you can't say what's going in that officer's mind either. He could be a very good officer who didn't want to take that shot, but felt like his life was threatened or the community was threatened. That's all I have to say. So thank you again.
Thanks, Wolf. Yeah, thanks for coming up. All right, we're gonna let Wolf go. And Erica, you got the floor.
I'm glad you let that yo mama lady go. With that being said, let me start a timer. Okay, so ICE is going around in different cities throughout the United States of America acting as ad hoc police officers. All right. When necessary, they want to pretend to be cops is what they're doing. All right. And that's what they did today. They were pretending to be police officers today when they told that woman to stop her car when she was doing nothing. All right. We had different accounts and I can't wait for the actual truth to come out about what it was that she was actually doing. All right. Because Christy Norm is saying that she was helping a neighbor during that time, but others are saying that she was leaving her home. That's where she lived. We don't know what was happening within that car. I'm tired of people coming up here and anywhere and saying that she was acting erratically. How do you know? We don't know what was going on inside of that car. All we know is the outside of that car, what was happening. And it looks like she was allowing people to pass. Is that the sign of an erratic person? No, it's not. So I would just say that the people, all right, who cannot see what this is, I'm just going to say it again. And it is a personal indictment on you. And I'm sorry for going over, but yes, you are. All right. I'm not talking about Wolf. All right. He's desensitized, like Swan said. I'm talking about people like that lady that you had up here. All right. She is deplorable. That is deplorable. No one deserves to unalive like that. It was pointless. It was senseless. Thank you for having me, Smitty.
Yeah.
I appreciate you always.
Absolutely. Appreciate you too. Thank you for coming up. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you. Thank you. All right, y'all. I mean, a lot was said tonight. I think when we lose our empathy, y'all, we are in big trouble. We are in big trouble as human beings. Forget even just as a country. We are in big trouble, y'all. And it is saddening to me that this woman's life was taken. And to what Melanie said, how I feel, this may be a little raw. I'll just be honest with you. If they were willing to take her life, what does that mean about how they feel about the undocumented immigrants in this country? That's just the way I feel about it. If they're willing to take her life, a citizen, how do they feel about undocumented immigrants in this country? And I just cannot understand that we call ourselves a Christian nation and an ambulance was blocked for 15 minutes. Medical aid was blocked for 15 minutes. It just ain't right, y'all. It just ain't right. That's all I got to say, y'all. But I will be back live tomorrow morning. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all the panelists. I appreciate Wolf for having a respectful discussion. I appreciate all the panelists for coming up. And I appreciate y'all for really participating in the chat. I try to read as many comments as I can, and we're coming real fast. And I do think of this young woman's mother, her family, her child, her children, I believe, that do not have parents tonight, that are wondering where they're at. It is very difficult times here in this country, y'all. Tomorrow time will be probably around, let's say 7 o'clock Pacific, okay? Much love to y'all. Y'all stay safe out there. We got to be able to talk this through. Take care.
Faith, but the people that lowered him, he was healed. Jesus said because of their faith. And sometimes it takes someone else to pray the faith. I'm not saying your grandma or any wasn't good enough. He just didn't go to the right person that knew how to pray.
So my grandma didn't know how to pray, even though she's a devout Christian, always at church all the time. My mom didn't, even though she's Christian.
That doesn't make you a Christian going to church.
Yeah, my grandma is like the most Christian person I've ever met in my life. Like literally, I don't think I've ever seen my grandma do something